Have you ever had one of those weeks where there is just so much going on and you're like, oh my gosh, how do I get all these things in place? Well, my friends, that is my week this week. So last week of school, which meant, we spent last few weeks doing, I can't even tell you how many concerts I went to. Can I just say, I think I lived in the school auditorium.
Hey! Oh my gosh, that was fantastic!
And then we had a really busy week with business, hiring somebody new, getting ready to launch a new marketing campaign for our next upcoming event, filming content. So my videographer is out and, we've been filming like long days because we try to get a lot done in a short period of time. And kids are going on an end of school camp out with their dad and getting that ready. And it just is like all these moving pieces. And then we got a really fun letter in the mail. So my oldest son is getting ready to serve a 2-year mission for our church. It's a choice that he's made, and I'm super proud of him. But when he submitted and said, I want to go do this mission, he has no idea in the world where he's going to go. And he gets the letter, and now we get to plan a really fun big party in order to invite all of his friends over so that they can be here while he watches it and opens that. And at the same time, there is no time to plan said super fun party. So here's the thing. I'm going to let you guys kind of be a little bit in the behind the scenes of our chaos this week. But what I want to really give you here is a couple of tips on how do you balance the needs of the family with your personal dreams and goals and ambitions in a way that comes together pretty beautifully, if not always seamlessly. I'm Amy Walker. I am a small business strategist. I am also a mom to 5 boys, and been married to my husband for 20 years. And he is currently serving as the bishop of our congregation, and so that's a big responsibility. And when I look at our plate, there is just a lot on it. So in this video today, what I'm hoping you get out of it is a little bit of peace that you're not alone in your chaos and that you can still be successful in spite of the fact that you got a lot of demands coming from a lot of places. So if you are new to the channel, make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell notification so you can get notified every time we release new content. All right, come with me on this fun journey.
You are assigned to labor in the Texas Dallas East Mission, and will prepare to preach the gospel in the Spanish language.
Oh my gosh, that was so exciting. I don't know if you could tell, but I was super teary in that moment. Really, this has been a dream and a goal of his for a long time that he's been working to, and we've been working together to, help him and support him in making that big priority happen. And I want to share with you now a couple of tips on how do I balance that, like supporting my family in their dreams and goals while also maintaining and supporting mine.
Let's rock and roll.
So here's the first thing that I want to share with you. I used to feel like I needed to make everybody else's stuff a priority and fit my stuff in after all of theirs. And that did not create success in business. It didn't create me being a happier, more engaged wife and mom. What it did create was me being tired, burnt out, resentful, grumpy, not a lot of fun. So what I have done differently is I've said, you know what, they're all priorities. So my stuff is a priority, your stuff is a priority. Let's just fit these pieces together and really getting clear on what you need to say no to, what is just not a priority at all. There are weeks where it seems like everything's a priority. This week is one. Next week we actually have 3 birthdays. So we have a kid turning 10, one turning 14, one turning 16, all within 3 days of each other. So next week will be another one of those crazy weeks. But you guys, this isn't the norm, right? It's not the norm that your weeks are going to be so full and packed. And what I find really is challenging is not the busy weeks. It's when you're constantly living your life and constantly trying to run your business while you're making everybody else's small stuff be more important than your big stuff. You just got to have like a reality check in terms of looking at it and saying, what is the priority? It is, we flew a videographer out, right? It's a priority that we get content done. That's a priority. My son getting his mission call, that's a priority. That's a big deal in his life, and I'm so excited for him. But some of the other things, you know, I had two of my sons that played at graduation, but they're not graduating. I did not go to watch them play. That was a lesser priority. And so you have to make those judgment calls of what are the most important things, and your stuff does not go on the back burner to everyone else's.
Ollie, you can't go on Monday.
Why?
Because that's the day of my show.
So my second tip is, as I'm raising my family, to really think through, what I'm doing right now supporting them in being strong, successful, capable adults? Sometimes, moms, the answer to that is not always yes. And here's an example. I know a lot of women who feel like they have a hard time asking for their family to support them in their goals and dreams. They support the family in everything, right? But they have a hard time asking for it in return. So if you're raising daughters, what message are you telling them? When they're small, you tell them you can have anything you want. You can go after their dreams. But then they watch you and they see you consistently not go after your dreams because you're taking care of everyone else's. So how are you really helping them? And let's look at our sons. Now, I don't have daughters, so that's all just hypothesis for me. But with my sons, if I want them to find strong, capable women, and I want them to support their wives in living their dreams, then they need to first give that support to me. Me asking for their support is practice for them making space for a really capable, brilliant woman in their lives in the future. So I'm a big believer that it is good to ask your kids to sacrifice for you. It is good for them to learn to make accommodations for another person. It's good for them to learn that they're part of a puzzle, like they're part of a bigger picture, and they're not the whole picture. And then allowing them to be able to do things for themselves that they can. There's been a lot of moments where in this process of getting my son ready to go, you know, there were parts that like he could really do on his own, but I could have done them faster and easier, and I had to let him set the pace. I had to let him decide when it was time to do things and recognize and put him in the space where he could recognize when he didn't know how to do something and he needed to ask me for it, but not just stepping in and doing it all and managing it for him. Because guess what? This kid's going to be out of my house for 2 years and he's going to be managing things on his own, and he needs that transition in order to be ready. So I would just say that maybe there are things that you're really stressing about that you have to do for everyone, that maybe it would actually be better if they just did it for themselves.
But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
So my third tip for you is to let your work time be your work time and let your family time be your family time. I used to be working and feeling guilty that I wasn't with family. I used to be with family and feel guilty about the work that wasn't getting done. And so I never felt like I was present and engaged and enjoying either one. And now I have really learned how to be present where I'm at and make that decision ahead of time. Like in a place where you're not in the moment, because in the moment, sometimes it's more emotional than it is clear. So beforehand, I will think about and pray about my schedule and be intentional with where do I need to be and what is the most important thing for me to be doing. Then once I feel good about that schedule and I jump into it, there's no guilt. That feeling of being like, should I be here? Should I be here? Should I be here? Should I be here? Is so detrimental, because if you were to picture yourself being on a path, right, like your path is moving forward and you're just here bouncing back and forth between, oh my gosh, now I should be folding laundry, I'm folding laundry, but I feel guilty about the fact that I'm not with the kids, so now I'm going to go play with the kids, but now I'm feeling guilty because my work's not done. It gets in this jumbled up mess, and it keeps you from making forward progress. So let go of that guilt when you're really truly on your path and you're doing the things that you should be doing. It is so detrimental to your progress. Be present. Be intentional about how you set up your schedule and what's right and what's best for your family. And I support that. You guys, there's been a lot of opportunities that I have been given in business that I have said no to because it wasn't in alignment with me being the wife and the mother that I wanted to be. And other great opportunities come that work better. So just choose, be intentional, but once you get on that path, you walk it, you keep your head held high, and you stay present with being in the right place at the right time, doing the right things, and don't be stressing about what's going on in the area that you're not currently working in.
That's how winning is done.
Thank you so much for coming on this journey and, seeing the behind the scenes of our really exciting, crazy, chaotic week. And I hope you noticed that the house is not fully put together, and that's okay. You can't be successful in all things at all times. If you want to see more of the behind the scenes type content on our channel, go check out my Amy in Real Life How Did This Happen video, where I talked to you about my biggest sales month ever. Hint, I was a little bit off on quite how big it was going to be, but we'll talk about that in a future video. It was still amazing. And I am excited for you to be a part of this community. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't subscribed yet, do that. Hit the bell notification so you can get notified when we release new content. Come join our private Facebook community. We have a group called Acquire. It's a great place to get connected. And if you want some more help and support in your business, make sure you download a copy of my book. I'll give it to you for free. It's called the I'm Not a Salesperson Sales Book, How to Sell Like a Natural Even If You're Not. It's just a really great tool to help you get started. All right, my friends, thank you so much for coming to my behind the scenes. I look forward to getting to know you better. So go out there and be amazing.